Joining us now, both myself and Dan, is Pete Snyder. And, of course, you know Pete. He runs the Political Action Committee, Disruptor PAC. Pete, a candidate for lieutenant governor on the Republican side in 2013. And we expect him to make a decision very soon on running for governor of Virginia in 2017. We think if he gets in that race, that all hell will break loose, as I've said many times. Pete, good to have you with us. You're with John and Dan.
Johnny, great to be with you. Glad y'all are keeping things lit on it in Philly, and I'm excited to gore the ox this morning. This is good.
I know the Oxman is from St. Cloud, Minnesota. We started this journey. We travel together because he's on in the afternoon, I'm on the morning. We share radio space, and it just works out for us. So we were in Iowa at where were we in Iowa? Some diner, right?
Well, we were at some bagel shop, right?
We went to the bagel shop. Actually, that was your idea. The bagel shop
John,
worked out great.
I'm worried about this. When you start telling this, road buddy show, I start thinking of that scene in Plane, Trains, and Automobiles where they're cheering. Very, very frightening. I don't want to see anything about that with you guys. This is bad news.
I know, and I'm kind of depressed because I had the Fräulein with me all last week from Saturday until she left on Sunday. So she was with me 8 days, and she had to go back for Joseph at a baseball tournament. So I've been in Philadelphia by myself, so when she leaves, I get very depressed. So Dan was here to pick me up.
Well, Pete, I got to tell you, every time I turn around, John is buying something with shower curtain rings. So, now you know who is who in this relationship.
Well, it all works out. We have his lovely wife with us. Now, Dan, Pete ran for lieutenant governor in 2013, got beat on the last ballot for the second at a convention.
I mean, seriously, a couple of years ago.
Well, the Fräulein did something that you were never able to do. She beat E.W. Jackson in a convention.
She lords it over me at every single time I see her.
I know.
God bless
she
you
said
guys.
that she heard you were coming on today, and she said, "Don't forget to tell Pete that I did something he didn't do. I beat E.W. Jackson at a convention."
Hey, John,
all right,
the
Pete. So
reception's getting really bad. I think I might have to cut out. I really can't hear you anymore. This is going to be a really bad interview.
I'm predicting you're going to run for governor. So I'm going to get to that in a minute. And, my predictions, Pete, they're flawless. You got to look at this. I'm predicting everything now right down the line.
You're probably the worst predicting luck of anyone.
What? Well, are you kidding me? Okay, look.
The only thing that you've gotten right so far is picking Donald Trump early. You told me you were the first one to tell me, way back last year that he's going to win and he's going to be our next president, and you're absolutely right. That's the only one, like 1 in 100. But you nailed it.
Yeah, that's
and
not true.
Donald Trump's going to be our next president, period.
All right. I said Scott Taylor was going to beat Randy Forbes in a rout, and I had that. But that's just luck.
Yeah,
I'm not
I guess you got that one, too.
I got a whole bunch of them right, but I know you got to do your own thing. Pete, let's get to Hillary's speech last night. You watched it. You digested it. You've been able to think about it. What was your assessment?
Well, a couple things. First and foremost, congratulations to Hillary Clinton on getting the Democratic nomination. It is a milestone to have the first woman as a nominee for either of our major political parties. I have a daughter, B, and I have always believed that she can be anything that she sets her heart to. And the thing that is a little upsetting in listening to the speech from Hillary Clinton is the fact that it was almost Obama-esque. Remember when Obama said, I'm going to cool the oceans and the oceans will recede and Mother Nature will be better because I'm actually the nominee. She did the same thing. Hillary Clinton saying that she is making our nation a more perfect union just because she's the nominee, I think it's preposterous. It's very Obama-esque. I just don't know what planet these folks are actually living on. And it's just this cult of personality that I think is just bad for America. But really, more importantly, if you look at the substance of her speech, it really plays into everything that's wrong with Hillary Clinton. Is she's just simply unable to tell the truth. Whether it's about the people, the millions under health care with Obamacare, she was wrong on that number by 120%. She was wrong on the job stats under the Obama administration by over 50%. She is bragging about putting a lid on Iran, John, that thing's going to blow up in 10 years or less. I mean, that deal expires in 10 years, which is far too soon. I mean, this is her policies and her working hand in hand with Barack Obama have been disastrous for the United States of America.
All right, so was there anything in the speech that you liked?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think for Hillary, look, Hillary Clinton is an erratic player in politics. Sometimes she does really well. Sometimes she does horribly. Hey, look, sometimes I give a good speech and sometimes I bomb. I mean, you've told me that before, John. But I thought this was on delivery-wise, this was one of her best.
Look, I mean,
one of her best speeches.
I would agree with that. She doesn't have the natural oratory skills of some of the stars in the party, like her husband, Michelle Obama, who I think now is becoming one of the best speakers ever, Barack Obama, et cetera. But I thought for what she has to work with, she did what she had to do. And Dan made the assessment earlier, the Oxman, which I agree with, which is she did what she had to do, Dan.
She nailed it.
She nailed it as far as she gave everything possibly she could to her base.
Yep.
Right? It was like feeding the beast. I mean,
beautiful.
Everybody got a Halloween bag when they went to the door. I mean, it was like I said earlier, Pete, her speech was like Alice in Wonderland meets Willy Wonka. Everybody got a piece of chocolate candy, and we all live in fairyland, basically.
That's the problem with the Clintons. I mean, remember, the various states of the union from Bill Clinton, there'd be these rambling beasts of a speech that he's given away candy to everyone. I mean, that's really the problem with this. This is these are transactional people, just like our Governor Terry McAuliffe. It's all about accumulating power and giving out goodies to folks in order to secure their support and their votes.
All right. Pete, I got 5 minutes. I think you're going to run for governor. Tell me I'm wrong.
John, I haven't made a decision on governor. I think there are a lot of good people in the field so far. I think we have to focus on 2016 and making sure that Donald Trump and Mike Pence are our next president. I think a lot will sort itself out from then, and we'll see. Period.
When are you going to make a decision?
I'll make a decision after Election Day.
All right, Pete, that's fair. I appreciate that answer. So you're not ruling out a run for governor at this time?
John, look, there is a lot that needs doing in Virginia. There's a lot that needs doing in our country. As you know, I'm a business guy. I'm not a professional politician. I don't need to run. I'm not one of these guys that just sits around and says, "Oh my gosh, what can I run for, and how can I possibly get in office?" It may or may not be a good time for me in my personal life and my business life. And if I can contribute in some way, shape, or form, I'll give it my all. Period.
Okay, so I've got people telling me that if Clinton Kane wins and the Senate seat comes open, you're going to run for the U.S. Senate. I've disputed that. I don't know what you're going to do, because I think you'd be a lot more fired up in an executive position where you can actually do things than be one of 100 people. Am I right?
Well, John, first and foremost, I don't think that's even going to be a possibility. I truly believe
that
Mike
Pence
is going to be our next VP. So I think that,
right.
The question is, it's a good question for you to ask, but I think that, I don't think that's going to be dealing with reality.
Right.
So,
I agree.
Look,
100%.
Well, I've been a CEO for 20 years. That's how I'm wired.
All right, look, I think you're going to run for governor, and right now there's 3 candidates in the race: Rob Whitman, Corey Stewart, chairman of Prince William County Board of Supervisors, chairman of the Trump campaign in Virginia, and Ed Gillespie, who, when I try to get him on the air, Pete, they send me an 8-page contract where they got to manage every question.
You're not nice to him. I mean, seriously.
Because he sends me 8-page contract. Because he sends me 8-page contracts.
Not to come on your show. He's a good guy.
I don't care if he comes, Pete, I don't give a rat's tail if he comes on or not. He doesn't have anything to say anyway. When the guy comes on,
John,
I lose audience.
People be respectful, they'll like you back. That's it.
I'm respectful for the guy, but he doesn't say a damn thing, okay?
I've got a great Ed Gillespie story,
Go
too.
ahead.
I'll share it with you. I'm doing a radio broadcast on the street in St. Cloud, Minnesota, in front of a car dealership one morning. Mm-hmm. And Ed Gillespie comes walking down the sidewalk and sits down and actually goes on my show.
In St. Cloud,
couldn't believe it. Yep.
Why was he there?
The Ox can get people because he's nice and he's a good interview. John,
well, I don't know about that.
You're a pariah, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm sorry that I ask actually intelligent questions that, like, he actually has to give a substantive answer.
John, that
you know,
is highly
life's
debatable.
tough.
I think the Ox and I could debate whether you ask highly intelligent questions all day long.
Hey, wait a minute. I'm in front of him right now. I got to spend the day with him. Come on, Pete. Don't throw me under the bus like this.
John, I can do this every day. This is great.
Well, look, I think you need to get in the race, and at least Pete's another one. I get these guys on, and there's no parameters except with Ed. I mean, they want to manage the content, the time, the questions. I mean, it drives me nuts. You know, you want to come on my show, just talk to me.
Get over it, okay? Move on. Here's what you need to do. You need to wrap up your show today. You need to head down to Jim's Steak. You need to get it with, and then also I get a pizza steak as well. So you get with extra American cheese, pizza steak, hard roll, let it rip, and then you look at the guy and you ask him who their favorite Eagle is, and they'll tell you, and you say yours is Brian Dawkins. They won't make you pay. You'll get it for free. That's it.
I'm taking notes, Pete. I'm taking notes. Can I use this at other places too, or just at Jim's?
All right, we're out of time. We want to thank.
Look, you tell people that Brian Dawkins is your favorite Eagle, you will eat for free.
Yeah, then you're good to go, right?
Free food.
Free food. All right, we got to take off. Pete, I got to roll. I want to thank Pete Snyder for being with us. He didn't manage my questions like Ed Gillespie had tries to do. Thanks, Pete. Follow him at Pete Snyder. I got to go.